much choice here!
Welcome to another exciting episode from Marvelous Videos. I'm your host, Tia Ayer. Doom Patrol Origins, everything you need to know about the wacky superhero team. When we think of superheroes, one usually assumes a powerful being who has undergone rigorous training to master their powers and abilities in order to be able to protect the universe. But today we will explore a superhero team full of misfits with unusual powers. Introducing Doom Patrol, a superhero team made up of freaks who were brought together under the careful eye of the Chief. They were first introduced in DC Comics' My Greatest Adventure comic series in 1963, and were the brainchild of Arnold Drake, Bob Haney, and Bruno Premiani. The Doom Patrol was DC answer to the X-Men. As this bunch of heroes used their strange powers to work for the greater good of society, let us dive right into the origins of this quirky team of heroes and explore the members of the Doom Patrol in detail. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin.
Should we search the place?
Exploring the origins and the members of this unique superhero team. The Doom Patrol was the brainchild of the Chief, also known as Professor Niles Calder. The Chief was a paraplegic and devoted his life to creating a group of superheroes that would fight crime and protect the common people. He was bound to a wheelchair and plotted various careful accidents to find the perfect team of superheroes. The Chief's grand plan was to orchestrate these accidents that would destroy the lives of rich and successful people. Once these individuals start feeling miserable how their lives have taken a turn, the Chief approached them and helped them turn their feelings of helplessness into anger. While earlier they felt like their life had no meaning anymore, his targets now believed that they had nothing to lose and could go on missions and save people. The Chief was highly intelligent and used all of his knowledge to turn these people into superhuman powerhouses. The Chief thus curated a team of carefully selected individuals and turned them into the Doom Patrol, a group of superheroes that were considered to be freaks. The Doom Patrol had strange powers and were essentially a bunch of misfits gathered in one place. The Chief's first superhero choice was Robot Man, and he sought inspiration from the Mystery Man from the 1940s to create this being. The Chief intended to implant a human brain in a robot body, but his plan did not go exactly as he thought it would. The Chief wanted to obtain his colleague's brain to create Robot Man, and he even planned a laboratory explosion that would destroy his colleague's body and leave his brain behind. This plan was almost successful, but in the end, the colleague's pet gorilla, Monsieur Mala, got his hands on the brain and saved it. Later on, the brain created the Brotherhood of Evil, which consisted of a group of villains that often stirred up trouble for the Doom Patrol. After the Chief's first attempt at creating an unnatural superhero was a failure, he refined his techniques and set out to find a new brain. He came across Cliff Steele, a race car driver who was quite famous internationally. Cliff Steele was quite the daredevil and often performed riskily on the racetracks. The Chief was determined to get his brain to create the Robot Man, and carefully arranged an accident during the Indy 500 race. Cliff Steele's car slid around in some oil, which caused a crash that left Cliff with many injuries. The Chief then showed up as Dr. Calder and volunteered to treat him. Though Steele's body was completely obliterated, the Chief saved his brain. He then created a robot body that would function with a human brain and fitted Steele's brain on this cybernetic body that was formed with the help of the special ceramic metal. The Chief had designed the robotic body to have powers such as self-repairing and superhuman strength, but some faults in the inner wiring started affecting Steele's brain. He started going crazy and went on a rampage across the city when the Chief finally approached him and made a formal introduction. He offered to fix his body, and Robot Man let him perform the surgery on him once again, without knowing that it was the Chief who had caused all this in the first place. Steele now led a new life as a robot, and the Chief convinced him to join his group and fight evil in their society. His powers included superhuman durability and stamina, and he was also skilled in hand-to-hand combat. Robot Man could also use his robotic limbs as boomerangs and fling them at his opponents during a fight. He also had the ability to perform thermokinesis, which he could melt even dense metals with just a touch of his hand. And after successfully recruiting Robot Man, the Chief then recruited Elastigirl as the second member of the team. Rita Farr, who later became Elastigirl, was a renowned Hollywood actress until the chief decided to wreck her in order to make her a part of his team. Besides being an actress, Rita was also known as an Olympic-level swimmer and had even won a gold medal at the Olympics. The chief planned an accident in Africa where Rita was shooting for a new movie. When Rita was performing one of her stunts, she insisted on swimming with crocodiles in order to get a good shot without using any special effects. However, the crocodiles soon started approaching her, and she tried her best to swim away from them in order to escape. Though she managed to evade the crocodiles, Rita ended up in an unknown location where she inhaled some strange vapors that caused her to lose consciousness. Upon recovering, she discovered that her body could now grow twice its size on will, and that she even had the ability to shrink her body. There was no limit to her ability to expand and to shrink her body, and she could sometimes even enlarge just a specific part of her body. And when the news of her newfound ability spread, people started labeling her as a freak, and Rita's bright career was ruined. She was devastated, and the chief decided that it was time to approach her had now come. He offered Rita a place in his superhero team, which consisted of other freaks who just wanted to do good for society. She joined the team and in the future even married another member of the Doom Patrol, Steve Dayton, aka Mento. Besides the ability to alter her body size, Rita also possessed powers such as superhuman strength and the ability to regrow entire parts of her body. Finally, Larry Tannier, aka Negative Man, was the last member of the original Doom Patrol. He used to work as a pilot in the U.S. Air Force until the chief orchestrated an accident on one of their experimental aircraft. Larry was manning the aircraft X-19 and had reached beyond the Earth's atmosphere when the chief caused the aircraft guidance system to fall apart. The aircraft's control started malfunctioning, and Larry was exposed to a lot of radiation before becoming unconscious. In this state, his body floated around the stratosphere for several hours before the aircraft finally landed back on Earth. Due to the gravitational pull, he regained some consciousness just in enough time to land the X-19 on the ground safely. Larry then noticed a search plane that was having difficulty landing, and he felt as though a rush of energy was flowing through his body towards the aircraft. In the form of energy, Larry managed to guide the safety of the plane to safe landing, and then realized that he could now produce radiation energy. He even checked into a hospital in order to treat his skin, which now had become translucent and was significantly deformed due to the radiation. Since the doctors did not know how to treat him, they quarantined him in a special room covered with lead-lined walls. The chief then approached Larry in a disguise of a stranger and gave him specific radiation-proof bandages. Larry then began wearing these bandages every time he left the quarantine room and was quite bitter about his new life where he had to appear as a mummy. He decided to leave society and live in isolation, where he discovered the full extent of his new energy powers. Larry soon began referring to his energy self as Negative Man. Negative Man was then approached by a physician known as Dr. Drew to work as his assistant. Though Larry agreed to do the job, he couldn't help but feel something was amiss. He soon discovered that Drew is a crazed genius who wants to take over the world. Larry quits this job for who he refers to as Dr. Death and returns to flying planes for a commission. However, Dr. Death now swears revenge upon Larry, and he sabotages his flying mission. Dr. Death then tries to get Larry to unleash his powers and use them to destroy the government by attacking important political leaders. Though Larry tries his best to escape Dr. Death, he is eventually captured by him and trapped in a cell lined with lead walls. The chief then appears in Larry's life and reveals his real identity to him. He promises to help Larry deal with Dr. Death and offers him a place in the Doom Patrol. Larry accepts his offer, and thus the Negative Man joins the group. Negative Man's powers include the ability to generate black electrical energy, which could travel in an astral form and return to his body at will. He could also use and absorb thermal energies and convert them into energy blasts during fights. Moreover, he can project energy and create waves of heat that cause explosions. Negative Man also has the ability to fly around the skies, as well as pass through solid objects by changing his body density. However, he cannot pass through lead since it's a high-density element. Together, Robot Man, Elastigirl, and Negative Man formed the original Doom Patrol under the guidance of Chief Niles Calder. Over the course of time, the Doom Patrol had newer members such as Crazy Jane, Beast Boy, Cyborg, Mento, and so on. Crazy Jane, also known as Kay Chalice, was an essential member of the Doom Patrol who joined the group at a later date. Crazy Jane was the alternate personality of Kay Chalice, who suffered from a dissociative identity personality and had a total of about 64 alternative identities. She was exposed to a gene bomb, which gave unique personalities and superpowers to every single one of her identities, therefore making her a mighty being.
And you're the one who wanted a fight.
All about the popular Doom Patrol series. The Doom Patrol series was first televised in 2019 and has been running for around 3 seasons with a total of 35 episodes. The series explores the life of these strange bunch of superheroes as they go on various missions together and help the world become a better place. Created by Jeremy Carver, this series has been quite a hit and has even won an Emmy Award for Outstanding Stunt Coordination in 2021. The series includes the original Doom Patrol team and some other new additions such as Cyborg, Crazy Jane, Silas Stone, and many others. Some of the notable actors that played the lead roles were Diane Guerrero, who portrayed Crazy Jane, April Boldly, who played the role of Elastigirl, and Matt Bomer, who played the role of Larry Traynor, aka Negative Man. Timothy Dalton played the part of the Chief, while Brendan Fraser portrayed the character of Cliff Steele. The series has been ongoing for about 3 years now and has been renewed for a 4th season on HBO Max. It had been quite loved by viewers so far who regarded the show as weird and strange, but in the best possible way. The Doom Patrol series combines a superhero theme with some good old dark comedy, making it an extraordinary watch. The writers have done a great job at developing a solid plot that keeps their audiences hooked, as the storylines are pretty much unpredictable and intriguing. The actors also do a commendable job at breathing life into these wonderful characters, and Doom Patrol is genuinely a breath of fresh air in the current pool of superhero TV shows. The comic book origins explored. The origins of the Doom Patrol were explored in DC's comic series My Greatest Adventure, released in June 1963. The 80th issue of this comic was titled The Doom Patrol, and it formally introduced this strange superhero team into the DC universe. The comic first introduced the Chief and then divided into the origin stories of the original Doom Patrol, consisting of Robot Man, Elastigirl, and Negative Man. After bringing the 3 of them in one place, the Chief revealed that he had performed the initial surgery on Robot Man, thus saving his life or at least his brain from dying. The Doom Patrol are pretty impressed with the revelation and seem willing to join the team. The Chief even gives them a tour of his headquarters, and they come across the Nerve Center, a room from where the Chief can contact any place on Earth where a disaster strikes. Just then, the news starts playing on a huge screen in the Nerve Center, and a reporter appears on screen to talk about the time bomb due to set off at any minute. Apparently, a deadly missile bomb had been hidden in the middle of a shipment at a harbor, and the detectors cannot locate the exact crate that contains the bomb. The Chief asks Negative Man to use his powers and send the dark, shadowy form of energy within his body to the harbor to locate the bomb. While his energy form leaves his body, Negative Man's physical body slumps to the floor, and the Chief tells the other members that his energy form has 60 seconds to return to his body or he will die. Of course, Negative Man's energy form is successful in his mission and returns with the missile. The Chief then asks Rita, also known as Elastigirl, to take care of his explosive by shrinking herself to get inside the missile. The Chief guides her through it and tells her exactly how to defuse the missile. She then returns to her human form, and the group is overjoyed after having saved the lives of hundreds of people by taking care of the missile. They are even more determined to become a part of the Doom Patrol team officially. In the second chapter of the issue titled The Challenge of the Timeless Commander, the Chief discovers a secret picture of an alien spacecraft that has landed on Earth. The Chief uses various drone rockets to keep an eye on any unusual activity, and this rocket spotted the alien spacecraft. The Chief further investigates the spacecraft and discovers that it has a secret weapon capable of turning any matter into atomic fuel. This could have disastrous effects on humanity if not used correctly, as any atomic fuel is potentially explosive and can create a huge bomb blast that could even destroy planet Earth. The Chief sends the Doom Patrol to locate the ship and bring back this atomic converter. In the meantime, General Immortus learns about this spacecraft, and he too is determined to get his hands on this very weapon. General Immortus has been a long-standing enemy of the Chief, who has been defeated by this immortal mastermind on many occasions. He is determined not to let Immortus gain this weapon, and the Chief communicates with the Doom Patrol and gives them instructions to ensure a smooth mission. Once they reach the spacecraft, they observe that it is being protected by an eye-shaped electronic spotter and a cannon that shoots freezing bolts of ice upon detecting any human present. They form a plan, and while Negative Man uses his energy form to block the vision of this electronic detector, Rita enlarges herself and destroys the eye on top of the sensor. Once 60 seconds are about to get over, Negative Man's energy form returns to his body, and the detector spots these humans and shoots ice at them. Both Negative Man and Robot Man are entirely frozen, while Rita is still enlarged and only finds her legs frozen due to the ice blast. According to the plan, Robot Man needs to use his strength to destroy this ice machine, but he finds it increasingly difficult to do so as the machine blasts him with the ice, and every step he takes, finally, he succeeds in destroying it, and the chief asks the group to hurry up and enter the spacecraft before General Immortus shows up. They enter the ship, locate the atomic converter, and successfully get their hands on it. General Immortus then shows up and offers them a choice between either surrendering to him or dying. Robot Man tries to go up against him, but the general shoots at him with a polarization ray that stops all motor functioning within his body. He then attacks Negative Man while Rita shrinks and hides within the Robot Man's metal body. Rita sneakily turns off the polarization ray, thereby undoing all the damage caused by Robot Man and Negative Man. While the Doom Patrol regroups, the General gets trapped within the spaceship as it prepares to take off on its own. General Immortus boasts about being able to understand his controls, but unfortunately for him, he presses the wrong button, which causes the ship to blow into pieces. After a long day of carrying out missions and fighting off General Immortal, the Doom Patrol then returns to the Chief's headquarters as the comic comes to an end.
Whoa, Katie, I was just trying to help.
Conclusion: though the Doom Patrol were an old bunch of superheroes, they came together to form quite a powerful team. And the unique characters with tragic origin stories, supernatural powers ranging from robotic to dark energy projection, and exciting story arcs made the Doom Patrol a massive hit with audiences and garnered by many fans. And if you liked our content, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks, everyone.
They are quite doomed.
What the fuck?